I'm Braxton Bitar. I'm 14 and I play baseball. I think I started playing when I was probably about 4, 5.
Back in December of 2021, Braxton began having elbow pain. It seemed more of like a tennis elbow where we needed to rest it and just kind of take it easy. So we took a couple of weeks off of sports. Then we moved on to January and the pain continued and seemed to progress a little bit. Essentially what we found out is that he has a rare condition called osteochondritis dissecans, which essentially means that the cartilage in his elbow had necrosed and died. And so he had these little bone fragments that were loose in his elbow, and it was causing his elbow to lock, and it was extremely inflamed, to the point where he was not able to throw a baseball at this point.
I was scared that I was never going to be able to do all that again.
Braxton, initially, when we received this diagnosis, it was really hard to hear. You know, we were initially told that Braxton would probably not get to play sports again. And that was hard to hear for sure. You know, Braxton's livelihood is through his sports. He plays baseball, basketball, football. He really does a little bit of everything. And so hearing that as a 13-year-old that you will never be able to pick up a ball and throw it again was very hard for, honestly, all of us to hear. We were set to have surgery in June of 2022. After his surgery, they wanted him in physical therapy 3 days later. He definitely had a hard road kind of cut out for him throughout all of this. But we ended up at UMC Team Rehab 3 days after his surgery, and you know, the guys and the team over there were just outstanding. It was such a wonderful experience. You know, they got to know us. They really set those goals and expectations from the get-go. Our physical therapists, Jason and Brandon, they just kind of formed a bond with him. Braxton ended up looking forward to his sessions.
One of my therapists was Brandon, and he had played baseball too in the past, and that helped me a lot because he knew what I had to do to get better for the sport. At the start it was pretty tough, and then towards the end it was getting a lot easier.
So with Braxton's team, he's played with this team for 4 years. However, he's played with one of his best friends, Brody. They've grown up playing many sports together since they were 4 and 5 years old. So Brody was one who was able to just kind of hype him up. You know, it was definitely a hard, challenging time for Braxton in the beginning. You could tell that him not being able to play, not being able to be out there on the field was really taking a toll on him. But with Brody, you know, texting him and giving him words of encouragement along the way was just something that really kind of helped him in his journey as well. Him being back with his baseball team and our baseball family has just been truly overwhelming, and it's not something that we would have expected a year ago. It was just, I really can't put into words the joy that I felt for him. You know, that is truly his passion, and that is what he loves to do. And you know, there were so many emotions running through. I think all of the parents were crying. I was crying. My husband was crying. It's one of those things that you just don't realize how big of an impact sports. You know, it's not just about the game, it's about those relationships, and it's just, you learn so many life lessons through sports. And so I feel like that's why it has such a big impact on us and our family.
I want to thank my 2 therapists, Brandon and Jason at UMC, for helping me get back to my passion of playing baseball.